I can grab a donut afterwards, and I'm a happy camper.
You look like you're in great shape. What do? I play Wurlitzer organ. He's got arms everywhere. But so what do you think about our Wurlitzer here? I don't know if they've done a ton of work on it, but they've done some work on it to get it up and running.
We've been keeping it alive and getting it ready for this, quieting it down. We had some leaks on the wind line up there. We got that quieted down. There's a car horn that's a little sick, so we're going to still do a few things today.
A car horn?
Yeah.
That's part of the 60-piece orchestra?
That's right, an old klaxon Auga horn. You know, got to get ready for everything.
Exactly.
So our Wurlitzer organ here at the Egyptian Theater, is this typical where the organ is way, way, way far away from the units up on the sign lines?
That is pretty typical for theater organs, but what makes this one even more special is that it is the last remaining original installation left in the state of Oregon, I believe.
That's correct.
And I can't tell you how rare it is to find a theater still in place, as well as its original Mighty Wurlitzer. It's an absolute treasure. It's a national treasure.
This is the amazing thing about the ETPA. When they saw an opportunity to go in there and restore this theater, I don't know if he gave you background on it, David, but this used to be a real running theater, and the original owners, and I'll be mean about it, they ruined the theater because they put these tiny little dumb theaters up in the sky there, up in the air, and it just kind of ruined the whole aesthetic of the thing. And the ETPA and those guys and the volunteers have been working so hard on kind of restoring the theater back to its original beauty from then. Yeah,
you bet. Because having those two suspended out there, it was, as much as I hated them, and I'm glad they're gone, and I'm happy they're gone, because I pursued, along with everybody on our board, getting those things out of there.
Yeah.
Because it actually drowned out the acoustics of the Mighty Wurlitzer, because that's meant to be one big theater. But at the time, the reason the McSwains put those in was they were losing money. So they made a triplex out of one theater, which happened a lot. Otherwise, if they didn't do that, as much as I hated them, we would have probably been standing in a thrift store or antique store or something like that. So it was beneficial for them. It was beneficial for us to bring it back to what it is.
Totally get that. They were trying to compete up against mega theaters that were growing in Eugene. IMAX theaters were starting to get up there. Sound systems were starting to be put in that they had to keep up with that. So I totally get that, but I absolutely love that you guys have spent so much time and energy restoring that theater back to what it used to be.
Yeah, and it's a work in progress. If you look, there's areas we have to restore the entire auditorium at some point, because part of the cove is missing from when they put in those mini theaters up there. That's where the lights wrap around up there. They're actually supposed to go further back, either all the way to the end of the balcony, but that needs to be brought back at some point.
Now, the last movie that I saw inside that theater was Dances with Wolves. Do you remember that movie? That was
I vaguely remember it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you ever go to this theater and watch movies?
Oh, yeah. And I remember when they put the balconies upstairs, or the triplex in. And I remember prior to that, I remember when they put it in, but it seemed so cramped up there, and it just didn't feel like a theater in those upper.
It was teeny tiny.
Yeah.
You could also hear some of the noises from the other theaters. And
Yeah, it would bleed. The sound would bleed through. Another thing, though, we were lucky and fortunate when they did it, because the configuration of the seats was still configured like for the lower part. So when you sat in either mini, you had to turn your head, and the left mini you had to turn your head to the left because your seats were like that, and the other mini you had to turn your head to the right.
Right. But it's funny because you run across every now and again, and you tell them about our incredible Egyptian theater and the Wurlitzer there, and people go, "Oh, I saw Star Wars there," and it's like 1977. You lined up to see Star Wars, and that thing has shown just about every major motion picture that came out way back into the 50s, the 40s, 50s, 60s. How far back did they show films inside that theater?
They actually started when the films came out. They had a silent the first night that theater opened. So they had films, but they also were doing live theaters. That's why we had all of our backdrops, and they're still there, and we're very fortunate to have those.
Now, these things are absolutely rare pieces of art.
Oh, yes. Yes. And they're all hand-painted. In fact, the other theater that's down in Los Angeles, the only one with an original Mighty Wurlitzer in it, is the Orpheum Theater. And one of our supporters is the owner of that theater, a gentleman named Steve Needleman. Anyways, when he heard we still had our backdrops, he was amazed. He said, "Wow, you still have? I got to check this out." So he came over and he saw them.
Do you still bring them down during events and things like that? Do you?
we're going to be doing that for the 100th. And Jeremy, who you know with the lights and all
Yeah.
that, well, he also handles the stage, and he's re-rigged them all.
Oh, Mark and Jeremy Conrad are incredible. What they've done with the lighting and the sound and everything there.
Well, hats off to them, absolutely.
Yeah.
They put in so many hours, you couldn't believe it. I've been dealing with that organ. I go down there, and they're there, and they're just doing everything with
Well,
lights and sound.
I'll tell you how I learned about the rarity of one of those things is I gently brushed up against one during an event. I mean, just barely. The amount of butt chewing that I got after that was like, you have no idea how incredible these things. I'm like, wait. My fat arm just barely touched it. I understand that, but and this was a gentleman that used to be there a long time ago.
I know
You know who I'm
I know exactly who you're talking about. He's been elevated to another place.
Yes, he has, absolutely. But Edward, you're 29 years old. You play 100-year-old instruments or more. And I was going to ask you about what do you think about our general Wurlitzer here, sitting down at it.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's like I said, it's such a rare treasure to find an original Wurlitzer left anywhere in the world. Back in, I think, the heyday, back in the 20s, in the heyday of silent films, they had like 10,000 of these instruments all around the country internationally. And now we have less than 100 working. So to come here and find this absolute gem and treasure, both in the organ as well as the theater, it's a pleasure of a lifetime. It's amazing.
Do you have kind of like a script that you go by with a silent movie, or you just play along with it?
It's prepared improvisation. So you watch the film and you kind of get ideas of when the car horn is going to if there's an old car horn, you got to go ooga when it's on the screen. If somebody flips on their back or something, you have to be ready with a crash cymbal. So you have to know the film pretty well. If you're lucky, sometimes back in the day they just had to sit down and play it cold, and you had tremendous musicians doing that. But these days with DVDs and whatnot, I'm a little bit more relaxed and I can practice.
I just cannot believe that you're able to watch a show and then act like a starfish and play all of these things on the Wurlitzer and still get through it. I can't multitask. People who listen to this show know that I can't even write down a phone number that they say because I'll completely stop and not know what's going on. So that's amazing.
I appreciate it. It's a sort of a specialized art these days, but we have a lot of fun with what we do.
All right, David, give us the skinny about the event that's going on this weekend. It is going to be a lot of fun. It really looks like you guys did a number with it.
It's going to be fabulous. I'm looking very much forward to it, and I hope all of you out there are able to come. It's going to be for the membership at 2 p.m. Saturday, the 15th. That's this Saturday. So 2 days from now. Tomorrow, actually. It's coming up. So.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Still saying 2 days, but tomorrow.
For months, you've been calling this radio show and telling me when it is.
Yeah,
it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. We're right on the cusp of everything.
Now, do we still have time to become a member? Because their membership has privileges. You get a little extra if you're a member.
Yeah, well, if you become a member now, you get in for free. But I guess the members from the past are the ones that get to come have the food and everything. So I wasn't completely aware of that, but I am now.
So Restaurant O is going to feed the prior members.
Yes.
And that's going to be an amazing meal.
That's going to be amazing.
Are you going to eat some of that food, Edward? I mean, you're a guest here.
You better believe it. Why not? Hey, enjoy it.
Restaurant O is absolutely amazing. Gentlemen, thank you for being on the show this morning. We really appreciate it. And have a great show tomorrow.
Hey, I
okay?
appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
We're going to take a quick.
Thank you, Mike.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Dave Scolari right here on the Party Line 267-2124.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention, like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself, or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair.